the last thing I decided I was going to do was steal the code I was testing with as a basis for my main program. So I'm going to come over here and make myself a new file. So this is all in the same directory. So I'll have a collection of files for all of my objects because I have multiple objects I'm going to want to make. And they'll all be in a folder together with nothing in them that's not related to the program. And that way I'll be able to keep my project together and have my program work and not get it mixed in with other projects that I might have in the future. So I'm just going to call this one main, and I'm pasting. Now Python is tricky because your white space is syntax, so this will be illegal. And I pasted it this way because back in my room, it was all inside this conditional. So almost every text thingy out there intended for programming has a key command that will let you hit Control or Command and then the left square bracket, the one that's next to the P, to go in, and the one that's to the right of that to go out. So this is a really good trick for writing Python or any other language that you want to have just look neat and not sloppy, and get your indenting proper. Okay, so my main is now here. What do I have? I have a dictionary of rooms. I have a current room. I have rooms in my map. I stick them in the dictionary. This is just junk. I'm going to get rid of it. And this is sort of a space where I've manually typed in commands to resemble what it would look like if we're playing the game. So I don't actually have any kind of user interface, and that's probably my first order of business. I'm going to start by running my main.py, and what you're going to find is it says room is not defined. It's not enough that my room just happens to be in the same folder as main. I need to import it or include it. And now it says the module object is not callable. And now it works. So surely there is a thing that you do to be able to say import room, but we don't need to worry about that yet. If you feel like looking it up, you can. But if it doesn't work, just changing to from room import star. Star is a wildcard. That means it will import everything that's in that folder, that file. Everything that's in the file room for us. And by using this alternate syntax for importing, we save ourselves from having to do whatever you have to do to make it work if you just type import room. So that's one of those things we can put on the very, very distant back burner and look up if we need to. So again, we're trying to get the most bang for our buck, and we're doing what works. So in my main function, I am going to put in some comments that say what things are just for some clarity. Ideally, you want your code to be human readable, but sometimes it still takes a little bit of thinking, and the ideal goal is to not have to think at all. That might give me also some guidance as to what I can simplify away in the future. Ideally, when a game starts, it goes until someone quits. So if something goes until there's like a conditional, like someone has quit, as opposed to, oh, it takes 100 turns, we want to use a while loop, not a for loop. So we need while something, and then to actually do something like this. So let me indent this. We know we're going to have something like, and we don't need that anymore. We know we're going to have something where we have this line that we copy pasted a gajillion times in our model, only we need a way to have this be user input. I'm going to make this true temporarily. It's a bit of a cheat. I can use Control-C to cancel anything on the command line. So I don't need to build the way to quit yet. I'm just going to force it to always run while I build myself infrastructure. Right now it says look. What I really need this to be is input from the user. So I'm going to get that. And instead of saying, what would you like to do, which is a little wordy because you're already in something that's describing all the rooms in text, I'm just going to make a prompt. I can just replace look with user input. And I'm not doing anything complicated yet. I can't quit, but if this works, I should be able to walk back and forth in my room. I'm just going to settle for making people type look all the time, and then I'll try to make it a little nicer for the user, because it's annoying right now. Let me see if that fixes it. So I look, I see the room, exits, I see the exits. If I go north, and then type look, I see that I'm in the other room. And I'm going to type exits. And just to be ornery, I'm going to go east. Can't go that way. Not a valid command. Try again. South. Look, I'm back in the first room. Okay, so I can just do this indefinitely. And I'm going to use Control-C. And it's actually Control-C on both Mac and Windows and Linux. And that's going to... It's going to give me a bug because I just killed the program very rudely from the outside using this interrupt, which, by the way, you want to keep in your back pocket in case you ever accidentally get an infinite loop. It's a good way to get out of it. I now need to do a few things. So I'm going to start brainstorming into my Trello. So I need to be able to... I need to be able to quit. I need to be able show room as soon as you go into it. All right, I shouldn't have to type look the first time. Look should just be if I forgot what room I was in and wanted to reread the description. I can put more in later. I don't need to put everything in. This works, so I'm going to commit. So it looks like last time when I was programming, I forgot to commit, which is not the end of the world. It looks like the thing that I did last time to room is I made the go command. Create function to handle going between rooms. And then my main, basically I did the entire thing. I'm just gonna take this and stage this part and say copy test code from room to initialize main. And then the new thing that I did now is I added this game loop with a user input. So make main take user input. All right, so now my next step is I want to be able to quit and I want to be able to show the room as I go into it. And I'm just going to say if, oh, I need some variable now. I'm going to make a variable that starts out true that I changed to false. So I'm going to call it is running. I like to use like is in front of something that's true or false, because then what it is sort of encoded in the name. So it's like is running is true and then is running is false. It like makes it match with English. So I can just say if user input is quit is running equals false. Else, I do the thing. So let's test that real quick. Look north, look south, look quit. Oh, it quits. All right, so that works, so I can commit that. Well, users quit the game. So that's done. Yay. Now I do need to make it so that it handles, it shows the rooms when I go into the rooms. I know I'm just going to have the cardinal directions, north, south, east, west. And this is pretty standard in all these games. But every once in a while, and it's really rare, and I feel like they probably had a special code it. Someone will make something that's like northwest because they want a diagonal. So I want to leave myself some flexibility for the future. So I'm just going to make a constant. So I'm going to make it uppercase, possible directions. I'm just going to make it a list. North, south, east, west. And then I can say, instead of else, I can say elif user input in possible directions. So that's going to say, did they put in one of these things? If they did, we'll do this. Otherwise, we'll do that. So these are going to look the same, which means maybe we just nest it. I'm changing my mind. So we're gonna go into the current room no matter what. Ooh, maybe I don't want to do it that way. So it just occurred to me, remember my game, my map, where I thought that you were gonna have to get a microphone out from behind the bar, but the only way to get behind the bar is to climb over it. So there was gonna be a puzzle where you have to like figure out that you have to climb over to the bar to get to the microphone. There, you don't necessarily use any of the directions at all. So maybe I don't want to have the notion of directions. Maybe I just want to say if the room changed so that it opens the possibility for any number of special cases in my rooms to make you go into another room. You know, like you could fall through a trap door, you could anything could happen in any kind of world. So it's more flexible than being just hard coded for just this thing. It would make my world easy to add new zones to my world. So what if I just say, if at the very beginning I say previous room equals current room, and then I just test if, so current room is updated, but if it was updated to the same thing it just was before, which is what's going to happen anytime it returns self.key, I don't show the rooms. But if they're different, I know they got to another room somehow. So if previous room is not equal to current room, rooms dot bracket current room dot do look. Oop, look. So I think this will work. I'm not going to agonize over it. I'm just going to test it. Looks like it's working. Okay. So it works now. And it looks, anytime I changed, I don't even need this possible directions thing. And I know I just deleted a line, but I don't want to risk accidentally deleting something important. So I'm just going to sort of knee-jerk test it, even though it was a really tiny change. Automatically looks when entering new rooms. All right, sweet. So now I basically have something that is a map you can wander around. All I'm missing to have this work is data. So I need to make data. I could just do this a gajillion times, but I feel like it's a little risky. There's a lot of typing and a lot of data entry and a lot of mistakes I could make just completely by accident. So I think before I do anything else, if I really want to solidify my game world, I want to make something that will let me bring my data in from something else that will give me a reliable format, because then I can automate it. Okay, so I've got a blank Google Doc. I'm going to call it RPG text rooms. And I just need to decide on a file format. So I'm going to end up having to do some scripting for this. Probably the easiest thing for me to do would be to make my first row, if I just pull it off with the script and have it be my labels. That should actually let me have some versatility here. So rooms have keys, names, descriptions, exits. So key, name, description, exits. Exits is a problem because I can be north, south, east, or west. So I think I'll just give them their own column. Yeah, I can make a script that handles these columns differently from these columns. And I think I'm not going to, going back to my plan, I'm going to go the opposite direction for NPCs and items. I'll make them have to know the key of what room they're in and get added into the room later, not through the constructor. So at some point I will have to edit the room to add some kind of attach items command and some kind of attach NPCs commands. And I don't need to do that until later. I'm just going to decide up front. So I'll just have rooms here. And if I sort of document it in my spreadsheet, I'll know in the future. So I'll have rooms, I'll have items, I'll have NPCs.